Why did my mom panic when the school counselor asked me a question she'd never asked before? I was sitting in the counselor's office because I'd been falling asleep in class. Mrs. Chen smiled warmly and asked, "How's everything at home? Do you feel safe?" Simple question. But my mom, who'd been sitting next to me calm the whole time, suddenly grabbed my hand so tight it hurt. "She's fine. We should go." Mrs. Chen's eyes narrowed. "I was asking your daughter." My mom's face went pale. That's when I realized she was terrified of that specific question. The whole drive home, she wouldn't look at me. Her hands were shaking on the steering wheel. When we got inside, I tried asking her what was wrong, but she locked herself in her bedroom. I heard her crying through the door. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the way she'd reacted. Around 2 a.m., I heard her moving around downstairs. I found her at the kitchen table, surrounded by old photo albums I'd never seen before. Pictures of her as a teenager. She looked so different, thinner, sadder. "Mom, what's going on?" She didn't answer at first, just kept staring at a photo of herself at maybe 15. There was a man's arm around her shoulder. His face was cut out of every picture. "Who is that?" I asked. "Your grandfather." I froze. I'd never met him. She always said he died before I was born. "He didn't die, did he?" She finally looked at me. Her eyes were red and hollow. "No, he's in prison." My stomach dropped. "For what?" She pushed the photo album toward me. Behind the pictures, there were newspaper clippings, court documents, all hidden in a secret pocket of the album. I read the headline, "Local teacher sentenced to 25 years for abuse of minor." The room started spinning. "When I was 14, she whispered, "a school counselor asked me if I felt safe at home. I looked her right in the eyes and said yes. I was too scared to tell the truth, too scared of what would happen if I did." Mom, it went on for 3 more years, every single day, until I turned 17 and finally told someone. By then, the damage was done. I couldn't breathe. "Why didn't you ever tell me?" "Because I was ashamed," she said, voice breaking. "Because I didn't want you to see me differently. Because I thought if I never talked about it, maybe it would stop being real." "That's why you panicked today," I said slowly. "When Mrs. Chen asked me, I was terrified you'd say no." She cut me off. "Terrified that somehow, despite everything I've done to protect you, I'd failed. That history was repeating itself and I was too blind to see it." My throat burned. "Mom, I'm okay. I promise. Nothing like that is happening to me." She grabbed both my hands. "But what if you weren't? What if you were lying to me the same way I lied to that counselor? How would I even know? Because you taught me better," I said. "You taught me to speak up, to never be silent about things that hurt me." She started sobbing, really sobbing. 20 years of pain just pouring out. "I see it now," she said through tears. "Every student who falls asleep in class, every kid who's too quiet. I see myself in all of them, and I wonder how many are saying they're fine when they're not." That's when I understood. She wasn't just scared of me being hurt. She was drowning in guilt over every other kid who might be suffering in silence because she had. "The counselor who finally helped me," she said, pulling out another document. "Her name was Mrs. Chen." My blood went cold. "Wait, the same woman who called you into her office today. She requested to be transferred to your school 3 years ago when she found out you were my daughter." I couldn't process this. "She's been watching over me?" "She made me a promise," Mom whispered. "After everything ended, after the trial, after I tried to take my own life twice because I couldn't live with the shame, she promised she'd make sure my future children never had to go through what I did." "You tried to—" I couldn't finish the sentence. "Twice," she repeated, looking at the scars on her wrists. "Once at 18, once at 22. Mrs. Chen found me both times, stayed with me in the hospital, helped me get therapy, helped me find the strength to keep living." She pulled out one final photo, a young woman holding a baby, her holding me. "This was taken the day you were born. See who's standing behind me?" In the background, barely visible, was Mrs. Chen. "She's been protecting you since the day you were born," Mom said, "because I asked her to, because I needed to know that if I ever missed the signs, someone else wouldn't." The next day at school, I went to Mrs. Chen's office before first period. "You knew," I said when I walked in. "You've always known." She stood up and hugged me. "Your mother is the bravest person I've ever met, and you are just like her. Why did you ask me that question yesterday? If you've been watching me this whole time, you know I'm okay." "Because your mother needed to hear you say it," Mrs. Chen said gently. "She needed to hear her daughter confidently say she feels safe, something she never got to do at your age." I started crying. "She blames herself for not speaking up sooner." "I know," Mrs. Chen whispered, "but what she doesn't realize is that by staying silent when she was scared, she learned how to listen when others are. She broke the cycle. You are the proof."